So recently I've been getting back into Pokemon since Legends Arceus came out. I really enjoy the new gameplay and mechanics that are introduced in the game. I love how you won't run out of things to do and you can just roam around and collect materials when you're bored. After playing for a while, I was inspired to make the Pokemon berries myself since I love how cute and colorful they are. So today I'm going to show you how to make a cherry berry from Pokemon.
Yeah, cherry berries!
Cherry berries are known for its spiciness as a puffin ingredient and the ability to cure paralysis.
Here, mashed cherry berries.
The berry was introduced in Generation 3 and is the smallest berry in Pokemon. Anyway, let's move on to the tutorial. This is what I came up with. I designed it in a way that the stem would look like the ones in the game, meanwhile the body would look like the ones in the anime. Now on to the materials. So you'll need 2 colors of cotton DK yarn, red and green, 2.5mm hook, a darning needle, scissors, stitch markers, and some filling. I like to use scrap yarn, but you can also use some polyfill. I will be using US crochet terms, and here are the list of stitches and abbreviations for this project. So to start, we'll need to make a magic circle. To do that, take the loose end of the yarn and place it over your fingers like this. Then use your thumb to hold it into place. Then take your working yarn and wrap it into an X around your finger like so, and hold it into place as well. And as you can see, there's 2 straight lines at the back. You want to take your crochet hook and go under the first yarn, over the second one, and pull and twist your hook like so. And then take the first yarn and pull through. And that's your magic circle. If this is too fast or if you need a more comprehensive tutorial, I will leave a link in the description of this video on other tutorials on how to make the magic circle. So for the first row, we're going to do 6 single crochets into the magic circle. To do that, insert your hook into the magic circle, yarn over, pull 1, yarn over, and pull through both. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lastly 6. Then you'll want to take the loose end of the yarn and pull so that we can close the circle and tighten it. Then we're going to do a slip stitch. And what you want to do is insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Then we're going to do a chain 1. For the second row, we're going to do an increase in every stitch. To start, do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then in the same stitch do another single crochet. And that's your increase. Then don't forget your stitch marker and place it into the first stitch. Then repeat the same thing all around until you have 12 stitches. When you're done, take your stitch markers out and do a slip stitch. So insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, and pull through both. Then end by chaining 1. For the third row, we're just gonna do a single crochet in each stitch until the end of the row. Don't forget to put in your stitch marker onto the first stitch so that it will be easier when you finish. When you're done, take your stitch marker out, do a slip stitch by inserting your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Then end by chaining 1. So for the fourth row, we're going to start with 2 single crochets. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Then on the second stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Then don't forget your stitch marker on the first stitch. Then now on the third stitch, we're going to do an increase. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and on the same stitch, you insert your hook again, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. So basically every third stitch, we're going to do an increase. When you're done, take out your stitch marker, do a slip stitch, then end by chaining 1. For the fifth row, we're going to do an increase in every fourth stitch. So do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, insert your stitch marker, and then on the fourth stitch we're going to do an increase by doing 2 single crochets. That's 1, and in the same stitch do another single crochet and 2. And now we're going to repeat this until the end of the row. When you're done, take the stitch marker out, do a slip stitch on the first stitch of the row, and then end by chaining 1. The sixth row, we're going to do 4 single crochets and increase in every 5th stitch. So do 1 single crochet, 2, don't forget your stitch marker, 3, 4, and then do an increase on the 5th. So do 1 single crochet, and then in the same stitch do another single crochet. So we're going to repeat this pattern all around until the end of the row. When you're done, take out your stitch marker, do a slip stitch on the first stitch, and end by chaining 1. At this point, your work should start to curve and look like this. From rows 7 until 10, we just need to do single crochets all around. You can pause the video here and meet me back when you're done. So now, as always, take your stitch marker out, do a slip stitch, and end the row by chaining 1. So now in row 12, we're going to start closing our work by decreasing the stitches. So to do a decrease, you want to insert your hook on the front loop only in the first stitch, like so, and then do the same on the second stitch. So insert your hook on the front loop only, and yarn over, pull through both loops, yarn over, and pull through 2. Then repeat the same decrease all around. So let me repeat. Insert your hook on the front loop only of the first stitch, then front loop only on the second stitch, yarn over, pull through both stitches, yarn over, and pull through 2. Then take your stitch marker and place it on the first stitch. So continue your decrease until the end of the row and meet me again when you're done. To finish the row, take your stitch marker out and do a slip stitch. Then chain 1. At this stage, take your stuffing out, and now we can start stuffing our berry. Once your berry is filled up, it should look something like this. Row 12 will be the final row of the red yarn before changing colors. So on this row, we're just going to do a decrease, just like row 11, all around. Start by inserting your hook into the front loop only of the first stitch, front loop only on the second stitch, yarn over, pull through both loops, yarn over, and pull through 2, and that's your decrease. Then we're just going to repeat the same until the end of the row. Once you're done, remove your stitch marker and do a slip stitch on the first stitch. Then end by chaining 1. And now we're done with the body of the cherry berry. So now just grab your scissors and leave a short end of your string and cut it like so, and pull your thread. For the stem, take your green yarn and we'll want to insert our hook into one of the stitches from row 12, like so. Hook your green yarn and pull through. Then take the working end of the green yarn and chain 2. 1, 2. Now this might take a while, but for row 13 until 36, we're just going to do single crochets all around. You should have a total of 6 stitches in every row, and don't forget to end each row by doing a slip stitch and chaining 1. You can pause the video here and meet me back when you're done. Finally, once you're done, slip stitch and chain 1. Then leave the short end of your yarn and cut using your scissors. Then pull the end of the yarn. And that's part 1 of the stem done. Next, we'll be making part 2 and part 3 of the stem. For the shorter stems, we're going to start by doing another magic circle. Then for the first row, we're going to do 6 single crochets. So 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, and finally 6. Then pull the loose end of the yarn to tighten the circle. Then insert your hook onto the first stitch to do a slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through, then end by chaining 1. This is where part 2 and 3 are slightly different. So for part 2, we're going to make 8 rows of single crochets. Meanwhile, in part 3, we're going to make 6 rows of single crochets. You can pause the video here and meet me back when you're done with part 2 and 3. To finish off part 2, you'll want to cut off the ends and leave a longer tail for the yarn. Meanwhile, to finish off part 3, we're going to need our darning needle so we can sew in the ends of the yarn. To sew in the ends, insert your needle into one of the stitches on the last row and push towards the opposite end and pull your yarn through it. Then repeat this for 3 to 4 times until the opening is tightly closed. Once you're happy with it, thread your needle again. Then insert your needle from the top center out through the other side and pull through. Then cut off the ends close to the stem so we don't see any loose yarn. Now that we have all the parts ready, we're going to start assembling them. Take part 2 and part 3 together and you'll want to place the shorter one on top of the long one and form like a T shape. Then take your darning needle and thread in your yarn and sew the 2 pieces together. You can start by inserting your needle into the center of the shorter piece and pull through. Then you'll want to insert your needle back close to the place where you came out from and under a stitch from the bottom piece. Then insert your hook under another stitch beside it. Push through the middle part of the top piece and pull tight. Then repeat this all around until they're all nicely sewn together. Once you're done, you'll want to insert the thread back into the stem so we don't see any loose ends. Cut the ends as closely as you can to the stem. And now we're done with part 2 and 3. To connect it to the body, you'll want to arrange the T upside down like so. And then you'll want to arrange the longer stem so that you'll know what it will look like in the end. Then once you're happy with it, we're just basically going to do the same thing as before, which is inserting your needle onto the center of the shorter stem. And pull through. Then insert your needle back close to where you came out from. And go under one of the stitches from the longer stem. Then push your needle back up and repeat this step until everything is all tightly sewn together. Finally, once you're done, you'll want to insert your thread back into the longer stem to hide it so we don't have any loose ends. And once you cut the excess yarn, it will look something like this. Then you'll want to bend the long stem into a curve like so and put the T upside down so it looks something like this. To hold it in place while you're sewing, Take your darning needle and insert it to the center where both stems meet. And while your needle is halfway through, you'll want to thread your yarn now. Then we're just going to pull through our needle and sew them together. Once you're done, you'll want to insert your needle back into the stem, and this time through the body as well, and pull through tightly. Then leave a short tail on the working end of the yarn and cut it. Finally, we're going to sew in our excess yarn to hide the loose ends. Cut off the excess yarn and use your needle to hide any yarn that is poking out. And that's the cherry berry done. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Your support means a lot to me as this is my first YouTube video, so I would love to make more videos like this. I'm always happy to reply to any feedback or questions regarding the pattern in the comments down below. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!